done found me, done found the viral post, and she done commented on there, and yeah, like you're $100,000 behind in child support. You don't claim this kid. Your other kids done found me on Facebook too, and they laughing at the situation. They like, well, he's getting exactly what he deserves because you go around. I take full accountability for my actions in this. I've already said that in the comments. Like, there's nothing that none of y'all can say to me that's gonna hurt my feelings to make me feel like this is my fault. Like, I played my part in this. Yes, absolutely. I sure did. I absolutely did. But one thing about it is narcissistic manipulators have a way of making somebody do something that they don't agree with or that they don't want to do. So before y'all come for me and be like, oh well, you knew and da da da, y'all don't know all the facts.
Alright, what's up with it, y'all? So look, man, I'm back again with another video, right? And basically, long story short, this situation right here has gone viral all over Facebook, man, to the point where I can't go nowhere without it being shared and different things like that. And people been sending me different video clips that she's posted from TikTok and just showing me different things that's being said in the comment sections and things like that. So I went ahead and just downloaded the video so we can go ahead and watch them and talk about them and things like that. She did say that she know that people were going to comment on this and say what they had to say and different things like that, and it's very good that she does understand the fact that when you post something on the internet, you're giving everybody a license to speak on these different things that you're talking about, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, it takes a mature person to understand that these days, it seems like. But anyway, let's get straight into the video. And basically some context around the situation is that she was dealing with a guy who was basically selling her dreams. I don't know how deep the relationship did get, but I did see that they were together. He did a lot of manipulating and lying, you know, from her point of view and things like that. I don't know none of this to be true, and everything is allegedly. But one thing that I do hate is when people come to the internet and actually expose someone. You know, I've never been with that, but different people do different things. They handle different things different ways and stuff like that. So, you know, it is what it is. But I do wish that if you do deal with people, that you do keep those things to yourself. You know, a lot of people saying different things about her, saying that she's mad because he lied to her and stuff like that, which, I mean, you can't do nothing but understand that. But to go to the internet, I really don't rock with it. But, you know, it is what it is. No disrespect to you if you run across this video or nothing like that. I'm just speaking on how I feel, and I always say this shit, you know. I feel like that when you intimate with somebody or you dealing with them directly, no matter what they do, try to keep it to yourself, because at the end of the day, people just gonna look at you like a bitter person, and you only giving the other person free promotion, free exposure, and different things like that. Because no matter what you say about someone, there's gonna be someone or someone people who want to deal with that person no matter what, you know. So it is what it is. But let's get into the video. I'm gonna let y'all watch everything, and we're gonna talk about it during the video. But let's go ahead and get into it and see what's up, because I don't know exactly what the hell going on. But listen, I am gonna put her name and information somewhere on her, that way if y'all want to go follow her, holler at her and different things like that, y'all can do that. But let's get into it.
Alright, so for the people that is on my Facebook, this is my part 2 of surviving Marcus Lancaster. For the people that are on TikTok that don't know about this, here is part 1.
Y'all read it.
And you can screenshot that and read it. And then I'm gonna also post the other part because I couldn't get all of that. Alright, and then that is the second half of my post. And then, you know, just our little pictures that we took. So yeah, again, screenshot that if you're new to this and read all of that to get up to date. Now we are going to move to part 2. But before I go to part 2, because in these comments on Facebook, been saying a whole lot of wrong. Y'all loud and wrong, number 1. I take full accountability for my actions in this. I've already said that in the comments. Like, there's nothing that none of y'all can say to me that's gonna hurt my feelings to make me feel like this is my fault. Like, I played my part in this. Yes, absolutely. I sure did. I absolutely did. But one thing about it is narcissistic manipulators have a way of making somebody do something that they don't agree with or that they don't want to do. So before y'all come for me and be like, oh well, you knew and da da da, y'all don't know all the facts and what everything that this man has ever said to me and made me believe the shit that I believed.
Now, I love the fact that she did say that now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't be understanding that shit. But I do want to say one thing, man. You know, when you don't hold yourself accountable, or when you do hold yourself accountable, people still gonna look at you like a bitter person. They're gonna look at you like, you know, you're the person who deserve this and deserve that, especially if they got their own woman and other things going on with their life. You feel me? But let's get back into the video.
It is what it is at this point. It's being said and done. I'm not doing this because I'm was trying to take him from her or none of the other y'all was saying or none of that. No, I'm doing this because this man is a manipulator and he's a liar. He's going to continue to do this and don't nobody expose his ass, because I didn't know that this man was like this at all, because you know why? Nobody ever exposed his ass, but I am. So yeah, okay, let's go ahead and go to part 2 now.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so I basically left off with him setting up a time for me, him, and his wife to all meet together, because again, he proposed or said that they wanted a poly relationship and that they wanted me to be a part of this. So by him saying that, like, of course, I assumed, like, okay, and he's told me that they've had, threesomes before, and they actually had a poly relationship before. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, like, so she knows that you out here basically like recruiting for y'all this third person to join y'all poly relationship, right? This is what I'm thinking. I didn't ask. I should have, but I didn't. So, boom, next thing I know, I get a message on Facebook, a group message on Facebook from him and his wife. And the message first was from him, and it was like, hey, Lynette, my wife and I would love to take you out. We're going to go out for drinks later. Do you want to meet up? So I respond back, okay, yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's meet up for drinks later. Yeah. She responded like, oh, can't wait to meet you. It's going to be so much fun. Let's have a good night. Okay, cool. So boom, the day goes on. Yeah. Now it's time for us to meet up. He sends the location and I get there, right? Yeah. When I tell you I get there and this man introduced himself to me as if I'd never met him a day in my life. As if me and him ain't been for the past month and a half already. As if he ain't already been telling me he loves me. As if already he ain't like all type of, right? So my mind is already blown because I'm throwing the off. Like, hold on. We don't know each other? I'm confused. I'm so confused.
My boy cut up.
And, I ain't trying to blow up the spot. Like, I'm not trying to, like, I don't like drama. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And on top of that, like, I'm here by myself. I don't know what he capable of, what she capable of. So, like, I don't want to, like, go off, whatever. So I play face and, the night goes on. We have drinks. It's actually a great vibe. His wife, she's great. Like, she's funny. Like, we got a lot in common. The vibes was good. It was good. You know what I'm saying? So as the night goes on, and obviously, like, we're drinking, we're smoking, like, whatever just happened, right? Maybe I really can do this, like, poly relationship or whatever. Yeah. Let me just see how this plays out, right? So boom, the night goes on. They invite me over to their house to drink some more and to smoke some more. So I go to their house. And again, the vibes, they're still good. Like, we're all good. We laughing, we got a lot in common, we talking like, it's good, right? Yeah. And that's basically like how I started hanging out with both of them. I'm not gonna go into detail about the threesome because I know a lot of people would ask about that, and I ain't gonna go into detail about that. But it did happen. Yes, it did. One time, it did.
I don't understand why you allow somebody when you can basically have your way. You know what I'm saying? You can have your wife involved with who you're dealing with. It don't make no sense to be playing no type of games. Now, look, people do what they want to do and move how they want to move. I can understand it. No knock to the dude or nothing like that. But I just want to know, like, why would you lie? That's why people get so, entangled in these situations, because all of these lies being told and stuff like that. You get to creating, mental real estate in people's minds with all these different lies, and then when they come out that it ain't the truth, people get to going crazy and acting a goddamn fool. So you cannot do nothing but accept what come with that. But a lot of the time, some people do just be crazy as hell and ready to expose somebody to get exposure. Not saying that this is her. I'm just speaking in general when I say what I say. But yes, to lie about some shit like this and you know that your wife is cool like that or whatever the case may be, don't make no sense to me. Now, she may got some type of hold over him to the point where he has to act a certain way, which is understandable too, but it just don't make no sense to lie when you can tell the truth. Let's get into it.
And I I realized after that wasn't really for me because that was my first experience being with a woman, and I ain't really like that. So no, I shut that shit down. I said I'm not doing that no more. To him, anyways. So that night went on.
Yeah.
Oh, but I will say after that ended, after the threesome ended, something did happen like in that moment or whatever, and they got to. They had left the room. They had left me in the room to go to the bathroom or whatever, and I overheard them arguing about some rule that he done broke. Right? Mind you, like before we did what we did, they ain't tell me nothing about no rules.
Yeah.
So I don't know nothing, but also like I can't hear everything because they got the music blasting, and I can't really hear everything. But all I heard was about him breaking some rules. So I'm like, okay, this is awkward. Because now, like, when they came back in, the whole vibe changed, right? Like, she got an attitude.
I got the hell up out of her.
Trying to, like, talk and talk as if y'all wasn't just in the bathroom arguing. So I get up to try to leave. He, like, lay back down. It's 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, but I want to go home. He's like, nah, you just wake up, just get some rest. I don't want you, you've been drinking, you've been smoking, just lay back down. We'll wake you up in a few hours so you can go. Okay, whatever. So anyways, go to sleep, wake up, I did, right? A couple hours later, I linked back up with him. And I asked him all about last night, what was all of this about? I thought this was going to be like a poly relationship. I thought like we was introducing each other as if like da-da-da. And then it was, well, like when me and you first met, me and her wasn't on good terms, and like I had already met you and was vibing with you and like already got these feelings for you, so like I couldn't, when me and her got back on good terms, I couldn't tell her that like I had met somebody else and this, I had to make it seem like we was all meeting for the first time. Who you want to tell me that? That don't make no sense to me. And I told myself, that's not cool. That's not how I never did no poly relationship before. I said, but I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. Like if y'all got a poly open relationship or whatever, like, and y'all both want this, like I don't understand why you just couldn't be because now you're starting this off as a lie. Mm-hmm. And that's not cool, right? That's not cool. But I let him again manipulate me and talk me into being like and reassuring me like, you know what, like it's gonna be like everything's gonna be all right. Like she wants this. Like let's just like you just gotta build. Like we just gotta build together and all of this. So I'm like, okay, let me just continue.
Now I can understand that right there too because I mean, but damn, it's just crazy because you can do this from the beginning. You can actually go out and recruit you somebody for you and your wife and things like that. But, I can kind of understand it because you don't want to just break it out like this, like I've been messing with this person and stuff like that. And it's something that you should talk to your spouse about and stuff like that. But, it just depends on how serious you are with somebody else. Now, I'm not condoning any cheating or anything like that, but let's just keep it real, bro. People be messing around. And I feel like that, you can get somebody harmed for them not actually knowing what you got going on outside of your situation. And I'm not saying that I'm just the perfect person in the world and things like that, but I just feel like that, you should keep it honest as you can with anybody, bro. And he could have told her from the beginning, hey man, look, I've been dealing with you and this is how it's gonna be. I need to act like we don't know each other, and then it goes from there versus y'all just springing it out. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel about that. But I can understand definitely what she's saying though. Keep it true, but I can kind of understand where he's coming from also, because like damn, it is a lot to throw on somebody out the blue that you've been dealing with them, you got feelings for them, all the other type of stuff. But let's go
with it then, I guess, because I already at this point I do got feelings for this man, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Well, I thought I did anyways, but I do got feelings for this man, and I was open to the whole poly relationship, and I did her, like I liked her, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, maybe I can do this. So, but at the same time, like, me and him is still doing what we was doing. And she knew nothing about it. Nothing. Like, this man was over my house consistently. We was texting, like, we was spending time together. We was, you know what I'm saying? And she don't know none of that. And when I'm asking him, like, do she know this? Or are you going to tell her this? Like, oh, we gonna get there. We gonna build to that. Da-da-da. So, like, that's why I say, like, narcissistic people have a way of, like, and manipulators have a way of making motherfuckers do something they really not okay with. because I really wasn't okay with none of this. I was okay with the poly relationship, like I was okay with that, but I wasn't okay with his wife not knowing. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't like that aspect, right? Did not like that aspect. So we're gonna go to part 2 because again, this is just scratching the surface. Like this is just the beginning of shit, right? Yeah. Part 3. Part 3 after this.
Yeah.
Alright, so this part 2, 3, 4, I don't fucking know anymore. But yeah, it was just like I wasn't okay with her like not knowing, because again, like I know there's different forms of poly relationships, right? Like, so I don't know. But I did know that I wasn't like okay with her not knowing. I at least wanted her to know, like, okay, like yeah, we do, because I know in poly relationships, like we ain't always all three of us gonna spend time together, or all three of us. It's not always like that. Like yeah, we get our time, we get their time. Like that's what I thought this was going to be, and he made it seem that way, you know. So like I didn't, and it wasn't going that way. And again, I take accountability for my part in this, because I really should have left his ass alone the first time that he lied when he said that he wasn't, that the engagement was called off, and then in fact it wasn't, and they was married, but then it wasn't, all types of shit, right? So I know, you know, and I'm not looking for no sympathy. I don't like, people saying, oh, sorry you went through this. It's fine. It's life, you know. This is a lesson learned. I'm just saying all of this so that the next one go through it, because he's not going to stop. He's not going to stop. These minutes to society, he's not going to stop, because this story just gets worse. Literally gets worse. So anyways, time goes on. We all still kick it. We all still hang out from time to time. Like we go out. All of that. Fast forward to like March, right now, it's my birthday month. So we link up one time, and they get to talking about this Philly trip that they got planned or whatever at the end of the month, which is around the time of my birthday. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, that sounds cool. And then Marcus like, well, ain't your birthday that following Monday? And I'm like, yeah, it is. And he was like, oh, okay, well, what you got planned? And I'm like, I don't have any plans. Like I was just probably just gonna do something here or whatever with some of my friends. And he like, you work that weekend? I'm like, nah, I'm off. And he like, well, say less. Like you're coming to Philly with us then. And I'm like, okay, sure, I'll go to Philly with y'all. And we booked my flight, and a couple weeks later, next thing we know, we're on our way to Philly, right? We get to Philly, his people from there, so we ended up staying at one of his auntie house or whatever. And the first night that we get there, like, obviously I've been around his wife, so like she is getting a little bit more comfortable with me and talking with me and stuff like that or whatever. And he had went upstairs to like start getting a shower or whatever. So me and her talking, and I don't even know how we got on the subject. I think we was talking about like the previous poly relationship that they. So yeah, we was talking about like the previous poly relationship or threesome that they had going on prior, you know, to me or whatever. And you know, like I asked her, I'm like, okay, so like, are these like more so for him, or like, is this what you want too? Because you know, at this point, again, like the more that I have hung out with her so far, like I've put two and two together, and I realized like I don't really think that she want like a poly relationship. Anyways, like I figure she cool with having a threesome, and you know, like hanging around each other, but I don't think she want like no actual poly relationship where another equal to her, where another calling her man, they man. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think she want that part. So that's why I kind of asked her, because Marcus is telling me like, yeah, she do want this, but from what I'm seeing, she don't. You know what I'm saying? So I asked her, and she was like, oh yeah, no, like I like having a threesome every now and then when I want to. That right there confirmed it. She don't want a poly relationship. This is fun to her. You know what I'm saying? Like she just wants to do the threesome when she wants to do it. And she was like, yeah, you know, this is all fun, and like she was like, I like hanging out with you, and you know, I like all of us hanging out and stuff like that. But she, like, again, she didn't want no poly relationship. But I just put that in the back of my head. I'm like, okay, I'll save that for later. But then she also opened up, and that's when she said, like, you know, like she has her trust issues with him, because I guess prior to them getting married, now mind you, they haven't even been married a full year at this point yet. Actually, they still haven't. And they've been together for some years. They just ain't been married for a year yet. So I guess prior to her getting married to him, he cheated on her and had a baby with somebody. And she was like, yeah, like, we don't know for sure if the baby is his. Then it was, oh, she was refusing to take a DNA test. It's this one girl from Grand Rapids. She's really known. She does hair. You probably know her. And I'm like, I don't know her. I'm not from Grand Rapids, so I don't know a lot of people. If I do know them, it's probably just from Facebook, but I don't really know a lot of people. So she like, oh, well, put her up on your Facebook, because I have a block, so I'll show you who she is. So she shows me the girl, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't know her. And she was like, yeah, like, she's refusing to do a DNA test, but then in the same sentence it was, but he's refusing to do a DNA test because he doesn't want to be put on child support, and also, like, I did tell him that if the baby comes back to be his, I'm getting a divorce. I said, okay, well, do you think that the baby's his? Well, the baby does look like him, but I don't know. Okay, girl.
Damn, cuz got a lot going on,
right? But keep that story keep that story in the back of your mind, because that part gets a lot more interesting. But anyways, we go out that night. Vibes is cool. Everything's cool. The next night, we go out again. We go to this hookah spot. Now, mind you, we go with, it's me, him, her, and then two of his cousins, and then one of his cousins' homegirl. And it's all females. He's the only nigga there. We go to the hookah bar. We grab a table, right? On this side, it's his homegirl, or his cousin's homegirl, me, and then his wife. And then across from his wife is him, his cousin. So we all just vibing, we having a good time, we drinking, taking shots, smoking hookah. Next thing I know, approached me, trying to, you know, talk or whatever. And he's like, oh, you know, that haircut fire, like, you the finest one in here, you know, just typical talking. And I'm just being nice, and I'm saying thank you. I'm not really entertaining it like that, but I'm saying thank you. I'm being nice. Yeah. But I can feel Marcus just staring me down, right? And I can see him on my peripheral, like, he's pissed. He's pissed. And the guy ends up asking for my number, and I'm like, no, I'm good. And he walks away. I turn around again, staring me down, pissed, right? But at this point, like, I'm laughing in front of everybody, because I know he can't say, he can't do shit. My wife is sitting right next to me. So what can you do? You mad because he's trying to talk to me? That's crazy as. But then I also noticed that one of his cousins kind of gave me that look, like, but that kind of threw me off, because again, at this table though, nobody knows what's going on with me and Marcus but me and Marcus. So I thought, anyways. So the night goes on, whatever. The next day I ended up having to leave because I had to work that night. But they stayed another day in Philly. So I got back to Grand Rapids, went to work that night. The next day, they got back to Grand Rapids. We all linked up, because that was the day of my birthday. We all linked up for drinks. And then later on that night, he came over. He like, yeah, we need to talk. That pulled in Philly. Unacceptable. I wanted to snatch you up. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm gonna snatch me up for what? And he was talking about that approached me at the bar. Yeah. I'm like, what do you want me to do about that? I'm like, yeah, you know what you want me to do about that? I can't help with it. With approaching me, because again, when it's all three of us out, automatically know that y'all the ones that's married. You know what I'm saying? Y'all the ones that's holding hands, hooked up, and I'm just on the side. So I'm assuming that everybody think that I'm probably just her homegirl or whatever. And I said, and on top of that, when we were all out together, I was introduced as the friend. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know what you expect me to do. And on top of that, your wife is sitting next to me, and we had a table full of your cousins. Don't nobody know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? He's like, well, that's where you're wrong, because I did tell my cousins. I said, you told your cousins what? He was like, well, they know that me and you was in a relationship. I said, you told them that? And he was like, yeah. I told him that we're all in a relationship. I said, but we're not though. Like, I said, your wife ain't agreed to no poly relationship. you ain't told her like nothing about that or whatever. And he was like, well, I know that, but like, so he was trying to make himself seem like he that, by, you know what I'm saying? But no, like, they don't know the real truth or whatever. But yeah, I guess he told his cousins that he and I was in a relationship and that we was all working towards a poly relationship with all three of us or whatever. And I told him, I said, you're telling the wrong people. You need to be telling your wife. like, you don't think that you're gonna get back to her? It's cocky and confident that she was just not gonna find out what's going on. And I'm like, but why don't you want her to know what's going on? I was so confused. But again, I allowed him to manipulate me and just like make me believe that I knew better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew better. So yeah, he was pissed about that nigga approaching me or whatever, and that was that. But yeah, like, all of this was fucking insane from start to fucking finish.
I'm gonna just go ahead and wrap all of this up because it is so much shit, literally so much shit that happened during the months that I was dealing with him. After, you know, being around his wife, after going on all three of us going on that trip, like, it was so much shit that happened, like, in between just me and him, not even with the wife being involved. And it's just like, at the end of the day, in the beginning, yes, he did lie. He did eventually come out with the facts that, you know, he was still very much married, and that he, you know, wanted a poly relationship. And at that time, I should have made that choice to walk away, and I didn't. I made the decision to still be involved with him, very much so. So I can't, I don't know where people are getting this narrative as if I'm trying to play the victim or come off as being innocent, when I've owned up to literally everything that I've done in this scenario. I'm not trying to take away any information and say, oh.
But people gonna feel like that just because it's coming to the internet. They gonna be looking like, well, why are you saying this and why are you doing this and things like that. That's why I say anything that you do is gonna make you look bitter. It's gonna make you look mad, upset, and things like that. Even though she's probably doing it out of disappointment and stuff like that. But like I said before, you can't tell certain people how to react to certain things. Even though some people just do this for a clout, I don't know what she's doing it for or anything like that. I'm just giving y'all my thoughts and opinions on this whole, you know, situation when people do stuff like this. But, you know, you got to be careful with this. I love the fact that she is holding herself accountable, but doing certain things that, you know, isn't right to be doing could definitely have a triggering effect. It could make somebody snap and do certain things that they probably didn't even want to do, you know. But yeah, it's just a sad and unfortunate situation that people just can't be honest and 100 as much as they can. Now, I do feel like he was trying to be honest here and there, but they both probably wasn't trying to hear it, and he just had to keep on doing what he wanted to do. That way he could keep on getting what he was getting, you know. Let's get back into it.
Oh, well, I didn't know. Like, no, I did know. Yes, he did tell me after he lied. Let's not take that away, because he lied in the beginning. But yes, he did tell me, and yes, I still decided to deal with him, because again, like, by that time, know how it be. Y'all can sit here and act like y'all have never, like, just been so wrapped up with somebody that you just be like, okay, and just take what they give you. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all act like y'all have never been involved with a narcissist, and that part is funny to me because, yeah, this narrative that y'all coming up with is very funny. But I take full accountability for what I did. I'm never going to take away the fact that I was 100% wrong in this situation, because there was plenty of times where I could have walked away and I did not.
That's what's up.
And I did not have to agree to not poly. I did not have to agree to go around his wife, knowing what me and him was doing, and she didn't know. Like, yes, I knew all of that. I'm 100% wrong. I'm never going to take away from that, ever. I'm always going to own up to what I did in this situation. But I am going to fast forward with why all of this shit blew up and why I am doing what I am doing, which is exposing him for who he really is. Number one, I'm doing it because nobody else needs to go through this type of, you know what I'm saying? Like, get involved with this kind of man and get their feelings involved and like literally put they all into somebody just to and yeah, basically, you know, just end up getting their feelings hurt. Because yes, my feelings are hurt. I'm human. Like that's another thing that y'all saying, like, oh, you're just doing this because your feelings hurt. Yeah, bitch, my feelings hurt. I don't know what to tell y'all. Yes, my feelings are very much hurt because this man really made me believe he was telling me. So yes, my feelings are hurt. I don't know why. Yeah, y'all funny. But fast forward up until a couple weeks, or it wasn't even really a couple weeks ago. This literally all blew up probably like last week. Because yeah, last week, boom, he goes to Texas for his business. He flies me out, just me. His wife is not with him. I fly out. He got down there like on the Thursday or Friday. I can't remember. I fly out that Saturday. And then I come back that following Monday. So I was there Saturday to Monday. He was still there when I came back though. He was still down there. The trip went great. That's another thing that y'all was saying, like, oh, like, cause you know my Facebook, I have pictures pinned to my Facebook of when I went to Texas or whatever. And a lot of people was like, oh, the trip must have went bad and that's why you're doing it. No, the trip actually went amazing. The trip went great. I had a wonderful time. Had a great time, actually. The trip went really good. It was everything that happened afterwards, right? So, when I got home Monday, everything was cool. We communicated, we talked, blase.
Yeah.
That was Monday. Tuesday came around, still communication. And when I tell you, literally since I met this man back in December, we have not went one single day without talking to each other. Like, we literally talk to each other every single day since the day that we met each other. So anyways, I want to say it was either Tuesday or Wednesday last week. Now, mind you, I have not talked to his wife. I ain't hung out with his wife. I ain't talked to her. Nothing. I randomly get a text message from her. It says, hey, we need to talk. Immediately, I know that she knows now. I know that she found out about me and Marcus. I don't know what she knows, but I know that she knows something, you know? So I immediately screenshot it to him, and I'm like, yo, like, have you talked to her? He like, men are so dumb and oblivious. He like, nah, like, just call her and see, you know, what type, you know, what she want or whatever. And I'm like, well, I think she knows something. And he was like, when I said that, he's thinking like, so yeah, he's like thinking like, oh, maybe she found out that she was in Texas this past weekend. So he like, oh, well, when you call her, just FaceTime her so that she sees that you at home. So she don't think, she can't say that, you know, she thought you was in Texas or something. I said, Marcus, I don't think that's what this is. I said, I'm not FaceTiming her, but I'm gonna call her. I get off the phone with him. I called her. I'm like, what's up? She like, so is you gonna be a real, you know, when you really met Marcus? Because if y'all remember, I've been with this man since December. I didn't meet his wife until February, and when I met his wife, she thought that we was all meeting together for the first time because that's how he spent that. That's how he did that, right? So this is where I up at. I'm like, I met him the same night that we all met. Right? She said, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. I found your Valentine's Day card to him. Okay. So, at this point now, I'm like, alright, yes, you know, because, we exchanged Valentine's Day gifts to one another, and he had a card, and there was definitely some shit in that card. So she knew exactly when we met. And where. Based off of the I wrote in that card or whatever.
Oh, man.
So I told her, I'm like, look, this is a conversation you need to have with Marcus, because at the end of the day, like, that's your husband. You know what I'm saying? That's who you took vows with. That's who owes you loyalty. You need to talk to him. So she just started going off like, oh, like if you wanted to Marcus, you could have just him without having me involved. You didn't have to be at my house. Blah, blah, blah. And I said, you are 110% correct. You're not saying anything that I don't agree with. I said, but again, this is something that you need to talk with Marcus about. And then she hangs up. I call Marcus. I tell him how that conversation went. And he like, well, shit, she knows now. It is what it is because you still mine at the end of the day. Whatever. And I'm like, okay, so now what? Like, now what? And he like, I don't know. I ain't even talked to her, so I don't know. He was like, but I'm sure I will. So I'm like, okay.
It's too much, goddamn.
So,
I would leave cuz alone.
I ended up calling her back because I talked to one of my homegirls, and my homegirl was like, you just tell her because she's not gonna get the information from him, right? So yeah, I listened to my homegirl, like, yeah, you're right. Like I should have at least, been up front with her and just like told her because, she found out, and I need to own up to what that I did. I can't run from that. So I called her back. I'm like, look, I know that I am the very last person that you want to hear from, but I do want to start off by saying, like, I do sincerely apologize for the role that I played in this. I said, you're absolutely right. I did not have to come around you. I did not have to come to y'all house. I did not have to agree to any of this. I said, but when I first met Marcus and we were dealing with each other, like, he told me that y'all wanted a poly relationship, and that y'all wanted me to be involved in y'all relationship, and that's why I was okay with coming around you. I said, but when I realized that this isn't something that you wanted, I told him that I no longer wanted to be involved, and that I didn't want to be around you, but he kept persuading me and kept reassuring me that you would come around to the idea and that this is something that you did want, but you just needed some time because you was kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out type. And I said, and that's the only reason why I said, well, once I really came to the conclusion, like, you don't want this, why you think I ain't been around? You know what I'm saying? Why you think like we ain't been around each other? I said, because like I didn't want to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, but I'm not taking away from anything that I've done. I take 110% accountability in the role that I played in this. I said, but as far as anything else, as far as any other information, like, you're gonna need to talk to Marcus and get that from him. And again, she hangs up, and that was that. So I'm like, okay. So now I go back and I talk to Marcus, and he's like, yeah, she called me. She told me she wants a divorce.
Marcus.
Whatever. So I'm like, at this point, like, I feel horrible, right? Because I never wanted to be this type of woman to like end somebody's marriage, or possibly end their marriage. That's not what I wanted, right? And I tell him, I'm like, I really don't think that. I told him, I said, well, now Marcus is, because let me rewind. Me and Marcus have always talked about what would happen if she found out, or if we all three of us decided to be in a poly relationship together. He always said that he would be upfront and honest. He would come clean about everything, right? That he would tell her how we met. He would tell her how long we have been dealing with each other. He would tell her how he felt about me. He would tell her that he's in love with me. He would tell her that, like, he wants both of us, right? Because he's always told me that. He's always been upfront with me about it anyway. Well, not always, but once I accepted that, the fact that he was married, from that point on, he was always open to the fact that he loves both of us. He's in love with both of us. He wants both of us. He wants to be with both of us. And at that point, again, I was okay with being in a poly, so I was okay with all of that, right? When I'm talking to him, I'm like, okay, well, now that the cat's out the bag, now that your wife knows something, she don't know everything, but now that she knows this, I said, now more than ever is your opportunity to be completely honest with her and tell her, what it is. Tell her how you feel about me. Tell her that you want both of us. Tell her that you're in love with both of us, like you've been telling me. you're right. And you know, like, yeah, we have talked about that. And he was like, he was like, there is something I'm gonna tell her. He was like, but honestly, there is gonna be something I'm not gonna tell her. And I'm like, well, what you mean? And he was like, I'm just saying, like, she don't need to know every single detail. And right then and there, I knew, like, oh, he's gonna try to finesse his way out of this. Now I'm gonna be the villain in this situation. I knew, right? So I told him, I said, based off of everything that I know that y'all been through, I said, I really don't feel like she's going to divorce you, Marcus. I really feel like, I said, because honestly, like, I've talked to her in the past, and she's always just expressed to me how she wishes you would just come clean with and just own up and take accountability for what you've done. I said, so I really don't feel like she's going to divorce you. I said, honestly, what I feel like is that she's going to give you an ultimatum to stop with me. And he was like, okay, and if she do that, I'm gonna tell her, yeah, I'm gonna lie and I'm gonna tell her, yeah, but I'm not gonna stop with you because I'm not leaving you. You mine. And I'm like, I said, Marcus, that don't sit right with me. I said, so you're sitting here telling me that if she gives you an ultimatum to stop with me, that you're gonna lie to her and tell her that you're not no more, but you are gonna continue. And he was like, yeah, and I'm like, no, we're not doing that. I said, because number one, not only are you still continuing this lie, I said, but that's gonna put your ass on a tighter leash than what you already are on. And I said, and this relationship has already been half-assed. You know what I'm saying? I don't get anything that I need from a relationship out of this relationship that me and you have been in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm no longer doing that. I have already told you in the past before, like, what we were doing wasn't enough and that I was wanting to throw in the towel, but you kept reeling me in. I said, so if she gives you an ultimatum and you tell her that I'm done with this situation, like, so I wash my hands with the situation. I will wash my hands with the situation and just, walk away. And he like, no, like, don't worry, I got you. I'm gonna come clean to her. Everything's gonna work out. Everything's gonna be good, right? And I'm like, I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I was giving him the opportunity to be honest with his wife, which is why I didn't tell her which is why I didn't tell her a lot. I really didn't tell her everything. And I could have told her everything. I could have sent receipts, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't, because again, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, and I wanted to give him the opportunity to be honest. So that was that. I didn't hear back from the wife no more. We stopped talking for the night, and then he ended up staying. And additionally, he was supposed to come back to Grand Rapids the next day. He ends up staying another day. And then he comes back on Thursday? Comes back Thursday. And I barely talked to him. Which, mind you, like I told y'all before, like, we never went a day without talking to each other. But that day, like, he didn't even tell me that he was back in Grand Rapids. Like, usually, like, anytime he takes a trip, it's, like, I've landed, I'm about to board, It was none of that. I reached out to him, didn't get a text back. I fall asleep, wake up, still no return text from him. I'm like, yo, what the fuck going on with you? Oh, my bad. Yeah, I'm back in Grand Rapids handling some business. Hold on, did you even get on the plane? Okay, glad you made it back safely. Not you acting funny. What's going on? No, you're acting funny now, cause you back home, and now you gotta face this heat. But me being me, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give you some space, because I know you got that you need to handle, and I know y'all need to talk. And I'm like, but when you get some time, I need you to come over so that we can talk in person. Then he hit me with the, actually, like, I really don't want to talk about this situation anymore. I really want just me and you to focus on our relationship. And I'll handle that, but he was like, but honestly, like, I don't want to talk about that no more with you, and I just want us to focus on our relationship. Okay, I know what you're finna do. I know what you're finna do. So I tell him, I'm like, I play it nice. I'm like, okay. I said, we ain't got to talk about it in detail about what y'all talk about, because usually he do. He tell me everything. Well, so I thought, anyways. I'm like, we ain't got to talk about it in detail, but
Oh, the long awaited part 6, y'all. I'm sorry. Y'all been in my head about this part 6. But I am a mother. I do work full time, and I work nights at that. And if you know, no. So I'm finally done with work for the week. So yeah, let's go ahead and move to part 6 now. So I basically left off with, me telling him like, okay, we don't have to talk about it in detail, but I do at least need to know whether or not you planned on working it out and staying, or if y'all are gonna go y'all separate ways. And the only reason why I asked that is because he just told me he didn't want to talk about that whole situation no more. So that was my way of confirming whether or not he was going to tell her the truth or not. So we pretty much like end our conversation. That was at like 5 o'clock, 5:30ish on Thursday, right? And so he was like, okay, I can do that. I'm about to start my trainings. I will hit you when I'm done. Now his trainings are from 6 to 8 p.m. So, I told him like, okay, cool. I'll talk to you when you're done or whatever. Well, 8 p.m. comes around. I know that sometimes he be running over, so I wasn't expecting, a text like right then and there, right? 9 o'clock coming by. Now, like, I'm chilling. I'm at home with my homegirl. We letting the kids play. We just chopping it up, right? And so I'm really not even like paying attention to like what time it is or the fact that I ain't heard from her or whatever. But my homegirl leave at like 11 something, and I'm like, when she leave, that's when I go back to my phone. I'm like, wait, I ain't heard from this man and since 5 o'clock this afternoon, and he said whatever. So yeah, nothing, right? The whole night. I ended up texting him at midnight or whatever. And yeah, I ended up texting him at midnight. Didn't get a response, so I went to bed or whatever. And the next day, now mind you, Thursday he had said like that he was going to come over Friday before he left to go out of town Friday night. He was going to come over during the day or whatever. So that we could talk and just to get a little time in before he go out of town for the weekend. So Friday I get up, I still haven't heard like anything from him. I ain't got no good morning text, no nothing. So the morning passed and now it's like afternoon, but by now I have already texted him like, like good morning or whatever, and I still haven't got nothing from him. And working nights, like my sleep schedule is all over the place, so I was off and on sleep pretty much all day Friday or whatever, and nothing. So by now, when I wake back up, it's literally been 24 hours since the last time that I talked to him. And if you remember, I told you like since we met each other, we never went a day without talking to each other, right? And again, now it's 24 hours. So I text him again. I'm like, yo, is you good? Like, what type of time is you on? Because I ain't heard from you all day, right? Then he texted me probably like a half hour after I sent that. I was like, oh yeah, my bad. I've been busy with trainings in Detroit. In Detroit? What happened to you coming over today? What happened to us talking today? Like, so, and then on top of that, you're up and active and moving around. I haven't heard from you all day. Oh yeah, I said, you acting real funny. You acting real funny, sir. So then, I tell him like, what's tea with you? Because I ain't heard from you since 5 o'clock yesterday, and it's now a whole day later. And what? He was like, well, yeah, I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to talk last night. How's your Friday moving along for you? No, we ain't gonna have just no regular ass conversation. What type of time is you really on? And then you sitting here trying to have just a regular conversation with me. By now, like, I'm irritated because, again, like, don't do that. So I sent him a voice message like, you're on some bullshit. Like, we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't do that, right?
Yeah.
and then didn't hear from him. So by now, probably, an hour or so go by or whatever. Now, like, I then got ready for work. I'm on my way to work now. At this point, when I tell you I sent this man like 3 separate voice messages, right? And they was some lengthy voice messages.
She got
and it was basically just me telling him pretty much like that, like, I agreed to shit that I wouldn't normally do, as far as like entertaining a poly relationship. Then also like being involved with a woman that like, that was my first experience. Like, I've always been attracted to women, but I've never looked at women like, oh, I want to be in a relationship with one. Yeah. And like, I was just basically telling him like just a lot of the little shit that was bothering me or whatever, and I was just pretty much telling him like, I know that you and your wife are staying together, which is completely fine, because again, I never wanted them to separate anyways. Like, that wasn't what this was for. I never wanted him for myself. I never wanted them to separate. Like, either we was all going to be together, all 3 of us in a poly relationship, or we was going to be in a V poly relationship, which is, if y'all don't know what that is, because again, there are different forms of poly relationships.
Yep.
A V poly relationship is where I am in a relationship with him, she is in a relationship with him. Me and her are not in a relationship together, but we know about each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that was. And I was fine with that. The only part about it was that he didn't want to tell his wife about the relationship that he had with me, and I wasn't.
So what I get from all of this is that he really don't want to lose his wife, or they have some really, really big ties together to the point where he can't leave her. Whatever the case may be, I still feel like it ain't right to go ahead and keep on lying about certain situations. Me being a man, I done played games and things like that in my life, and I'm not perfect to this day either, but I know I'm not going to sit here and do all this extra shit, you feel me? Especially if I got somebody that's willing and ready to do certain things. Now, if it gets that serious to the point where I feel like a man wants to do what they're doing, like the V thing or whatever the case may be, then talk about that. I feel like you should just go ahead and just get to the nitty gritty on a lot of situations. But I think a lot of the time some people don't do certain things and they keep on lying because they don't know how serious the person that they're dealing with is. You can deal with somebody and really have feelings for them in a couple of months, maybe even a couple of days, but you don't want to jeopardize what you really, really have going on. That's a solid foundation just for some shit that's temporary. So yes, I can understand certain people moving a certain way. That's why I'm getting up out of this. Like, I ain't finna risk this and that for a temporary situation. But I mean, at the same time, you shouldn't be out here playing these games if you're not willing to accept what comes with this. But I haven't heard his side of the story. He might be willing to accept whatever, but this ain't no but free publicity and promotion for him, because women still gonna want to deal with him. They're gonna want to wonder why so much chaos is around him and everything like that. You know how it go. But yeah, ultimately, she did say that she was upset and didn't like the fact that he lied to her. And that's what's up. She said she was hurt and everything like that. I love the accountability. I still don't feel like it should have made it to the internet, but at the same time, I definitely can understand the frustration there. Let's get back into the video.
Okay with that. And that's pretty much all that I said in the voice message, or all 3 of them put together. It was just about shit that just everything just wasn't adding up, right? I think the last message I sent him was like right when I was walking into work at 7:00, voice message anyways. And nothing. Got no response from that man. None. And I work nights, so I literally have nothing but time on my hands at night. My job is very, very laid back, so you know what I'm saying? Again, nothing but time on my hands, right? And again, the last message I sent to him was right when I was walking into work at 7:00, and I got no response from that man, none at all. And by now it's like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I've seen that he's been active on Facebook, all of that, but no response to me. So by now I'm like, okay, I see what it is. I'ma just remove myself from this situation, right? So I blocked him. I blocked him on my phone. I blocked him from being able to message me on Facebook. We were still friends on Facebook, but I blocked him from being able to message me. And then I also blocked him from being able to message me on Instagram. So I
finished off work for the night. Yeah, I finished off work for the night, and I get off at 7:30 in the morning. Still no response from him. Or well, obviously no response because I blocked him or whatever, but no attempt anywhere. Like when a motherfucker want to get in contact with you, they gonna find a way to get in contact with you, right? Still ain't heard from this man since 5 p.m. the day before. So I go home, go to sleep. I wake up to a message request on Instagram, and it's from him, and it's basically like, please unblock me. I've been trying to call you, and I sent you a text message. So I read it, and then I waited probably like an hour and a half before I unblocked him or whatever. So then I unblocked him, and I texted him. I'm like, "What's up?" He like, "What's up, Lynette? Did you get my text message?" And I was like, "No, you were blocked." So no, I didn't get your text message. So then he sends me the screenshot of the text message that he sent me. So the text message he sent me was basically like, sorry I didn't respond to you yesterday. I did listen to your voice messages though, and I first want to start off by saying that I apologize for making you feel any type of way because that was never my intention. And then he said that he understands where I'm coming from and understands how difficult this relationship is for me. On my end anyways. And then, he did say like, I do love my business and I do love my wife and I do love you. And juggling all three is difficult, but I wouldn't change it for the world. So I just texted him back and I was like, oh, okay. Because what you want me to do with that? Like the shit that I sent him in the voice message, like to me, that was just like like let me respond to this girl and tell her some shit. But no, like that really, it didn't mean me because no, and at this point, like I'm so just like, I'm ready to just walk away from the situation because in the voice messages, like I told him, like I'm not getting what I need or want from this relationship. Because it's half-assed. It's half-assed. I don't get the time that I need. I just don't get a lot that a regular relationship would get. And I get the fact that it is a poly relationship. So like you have to be able to divide your time and make time for everybody, especially because we're not all three of us in a relationship together. And I get that, but to me, throughout the whole 6 months that we were dealing with each other, it wasn't what I needed. Like I spent 3.5 years being single. And this isn't the type of relationship that I waited 3.5 years to be in. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me anymore. And then the fact that again, like I knew, even though he didn't tell me, I knew you weren't honest with your wife about what me and you had going on. And I couldn't continue with that. And the only reason why I continued with it before is because you kept reassuring me, you kept telling me to trust you, that you were going to tell her at some point. And then when that time came, you didn't do it. So at this point, it's like, it's no point, right? So, I was ready to just throw in the towel and just walk away from the situation. But I did text him back after that, after I said like, oh, okay. I waited a few minutes or whatever. And then I texted him back and I was like, well, I'm pretty sure you didn't tell your wife any of that. I said, so until you can be completely honest with her about us, I said, I'm walking away from the situation. I'm no longer doing this or whatever. He sends me a text message back and he says, okay. So I sent him a text message back. I said, okay, what? He said, okay, to what you said above. I said, obviously, but I'm saying like, what are you saying okay for? Like, what are you saying okay as in? Like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be honest with her, or okay, like, I hear you. You know what I'm saying? And he sent me a text message back and he said, I've already told you before that I no longer want to discuss that situation with you. And I really just want me and you to focus on our relationship. So if we can do that, let's please do that. And that right there confirmed 100% for me that he did not tell his wife. He finessed his way out of that situation, made me probably look like villain to her, downplayed whatever relationship that me and him had or whatever to her to get his way out of this situation or whatever. And that was some, and it pissed me off. So I texted him back. I was like, LOL, right. I said, you can't be honest with your wife about me. I said, so I am done with this situation. I said, y'all can enjoy your marriage. I no longer want to be a part of what you have going on or what y'all have going on. Like, I'm just walking away or whatever. He sends me a text message back and was like, okay, with the sad face, I'm really going to miss you, la la, with the little cross and finger emoji. Like, if you know, he is obsessed with emojis. So I texted him back and I told him that I was going to need my key back to my apartment building. Because you have to either be buzzed in or you have to have a key to get through the front door or whatever. So he had the key to the front door to be able to just get straight up into my hallway or whatever. So I texted him back and I was like, well, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that key back. So let me know like when you're available to give me that. So now like he just says okay. And that was the end of our conversation. But like the more that I think about it, like obviously like I'm hurt because you couldn't be honest. And that's really all I ever wanted you to do. Like I never wanted to separate y'all, like their marriage. I never again wanted him to myself. I agreed to a poly relationship with all three of us. Once I realized that she didn't want to do that, I said, okay, well, I can still do the poly relationship. But she, again, there's different forms. I agree to the V poly relationship, but that still requires everybody involved to know about each other, right? And that's the part that he was refusing to do. And so as time going on, like I'm at work, I'm in my feelings, like I'm upset, I'm hurt, right? So I'm like, I gotta find a way to kind of like get back at this situation because that's the type of time I was on. I was like, I gotta get back. I gotta get him back some way, somehow, like, because you're not just gonna downplay this situation. So I went on Facebook and mind you, I went to Texas last week or whatever, the week before all of this happened. And I took pictures while I was down in Texas. Took videos of the scenery. I took pictures of the scenery. All of that. So I'm like, I'm gonna post my pictures. So I decided to post my pictures on my Facebook. Now, mind you, like me and him did take pictures together while we was in Texas or whatever, but the original post, I didn't post them. I literally just posted my picture of myself and then I posted pictures of the scenery. And then I made it public. And then I also wrote a status saying how much I enjoyed being in Austin this past weekend or whatever. Yeah, because his wife and I were not friends on Facebook, but she didn't have me blocked at this point, so she could still see my page, and I made it public. So literally probably like, not even an hour after I posted that, he texted me and was like, like you posting pictures from Texas, like come on now, you can't do that. That's not what we do. So yeah, he texted me, he like, you really on that type of time? So I texted him back and I'm like, or no, I sent a voice message at this point and I'm like, yeah, I said, no, you're really on that type of time. I said, I really can't sit here. I really can't believe that you couldn't be honest with your wife about the relationship that you and I have. When all we've ever talked about was you being honest about it. I said, and to me, that's just like a slap in my face. Like you really sat here and played in my face. You really had me believing like the things that you were telling me. And I said, and that's not cool. Like you can't do that. You can't do that, especially like, when I've done nothing to you. I told him in a voice message, I'm like, I agreed
I would never agree with. Like, you had me doing that was out of my character. And that's just not cool, right? So I text him. After that, I text him like, you really, I'm like, you hurt my feelings. You really did. I said, I've done nothing to you. I've been open minded. I've been honest, and I've been genuine with you since the day that I met you. And all I ever wanted you to do was just to be honest. And I was giving you the benefit of the doubt, and then I gave you the chance to be honest, and you didn't do it. And then I texted him again. I said, I literally could have told your wife everything when she asked me the other day. I said, I could have told her everything. I could have sent her screenshots, all of that. I said, but I didn't, because again, I was giving you the benefit of the doubt, and I was giving you the opportunity to be honest with your wife so that y'all could have that conversation. Because again, I didn't want me to give her that information and then she just be so, hurt by it that she, leaves you or whatever. Because again, that's never what I wanted. I never wanted that. I don't even know what part we on no more. 8, 9, shit, girl, I don't know. But so yeah, like I never wanted that, right? So I ain't getting no response from him. Again, like, I'm still in my feelings. Like, I've cried a few times, like, because shit, my feelings is hurting. Anybody that know me, know I wear my sleeve. Like, I'm a very sensitive person. In some cases, when it comes to this, anyways, when it comes to somebody that I'm invested in, when it comes to somebody that I have feelings for, I'm like, I'm a very sensitive person or whatever. And like, I never wanted him to choose me in a sense, but I at least wanted him to choose me enough to where he would be honest with his wife about how it was that he felt towards me and how he was telling that he felt towards me. That way, like, he could have us both. Because again, like, I agreed to a poly relationship. So I was okay with it being both of us or whatever. And it yep, that he couldn't do that. And it had me questioning a lot, right? And so yeah, I'm at work for a long 12 hours, and by now, like, my little pictures have caught a little, shine or whatever. Mind you, it was still just the pictures of just me. I just had Austin tagged or whatever in the scenery. And he had posted his little pictures too, and posted the scenery too. So it was, if you're friends with him and you're friends with me on Facebook, like, you seen the correlation, right? So anyways, we're gonna rewind now back to my birthday trip in Philly. Y'all remember when I told you the wife opened up to me and told me that he had a baby on her like a year prior or whatever, but they didn't know for sure if it was a baby because no DNA test was done or whatever. Well, when we were in Philly, like, she was telling me about the girl, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. I'm not from here. And she pulled up the girl Facebook on my phone or whatever. Well, then either that same day or the next day, I was on the girl page. I was on her page because she do hair. I was on her page, and I was just scrolling, just being nosy, just scrolling. I was looking at her hair pictures. I was looking at pictures of the baby, who looks exactly like that man, by the way. No DNA test is needed, but that's neither here nor there. And I guess my ass got to lurking so much and scrolling so much through her damn page that I sent her a friend request, but I didn't know that I sent her a friend request. So the next day, the day after, I get a message from her, and I'm gonna call her J, only because I don't know for sure if she won't like her name out there or whatever. I guess, like, if you're in Grand Rapids, you probably know, but I don't know if she want the whole everybody else to know. So Jay inboxed me, and this is again back in March or back in April at this point now. She inboxed me and she was like, hey, like, I'm just reaching out to you. I see that you're friends with Marcus and his wife. She was like, I don't like them people, and I don't associate myself with people who are cool with them. She was like, I'm just making sure, like, you're not adding me on no mess. And when she sent me that, it threw me off guard because I'm like, we friends? So I went to her page, and sure enough, we was friends. I was like, God damn, I must have sent her a damn friend request on accident. And I I did. So I sent her a message back. I'm like, look, that's none of my business. Because at that point, it really ain't my business. I wrote her back. I said, that's not my business. I said, I'm not adding you on no message. I said, I'm not a messy person, so you don't have nothing to worry about when it comes to me. And we left it at that. I didn't delete her. She didn't delete me. I ain't got no problem with the girl. I don't know her. So I ain't got no beef for her. I ain't had no reason to delete her. So that was that. So now fast forward back to what we were just talking about. The pictures was up, right? Whatever. The picture's been up for like an hour at this point. I said what I said to Marcus. I ain't heard from him. Then I get a message from Jay. And she messaged me again, and she was like, again, I'm not on no message, like, but I really am, like, really curious as to why you added me on Facebook. So I sent her a message back, and I told her the truth. I'm like, I honestly didn't even know that I sent you a friend request until you messaged me. I said, I must have been scrolling too fast and just accidentally sent you the request. I said, but once you messaged me and we both established, like, we wasn't on no message, that I didn't see a need to delete you off Facebook or whatever. I said, but that's, genuinely what it was. Like, I didn't add you on no message. And so she inboxed me back, and she was like, okay, she was like, I'm just making sure. She was like, because I am fully aware of y'all poly relationship, because again, like, people have seen us out before. I've posted pictures of all three of us before. So like, yeah, people have put two and two together or whatever. So she was like, yeah, I'm fully aware of y'all poly relationship. She was like, I hate him with a passion. Like, I don't like him. And she was like, he's a liar. He's a manipulator. And I don't, I don't associate myself with people that are cool with them. And then she was like, what else did she say? I had to go back and check. She was like, and she was like, but honestly, like, I really thought that, his wife sent you to my page to add me or whatever. So I sent her a message back. I'm like, LOL, yeah, I've learned, in response to her calling, like, him a liar and a manipulator or whatever. I was like, yeah, I've learned. I said, I'm no longer dealing with them. I said, I really hate that I got myself wrapped up in all of this. I'm like, I really hate that I got myself wrapped up in all of this. And I basically just started like, she ain't have nothing to worry about when it comes to me or whatever. And then she sent me another message back, and she was like, okay, I'm just making sure. And she was like, and honestly, woman to woman, she was like, like, you deserve so much better. She was like, I really hate that he, lies and manipulates to women, and, leads them on with saying that he's single at first, and then tried to introduce like a whole poly relationship with his fiance or wife or whatever. And she was like, and I just, I don't like that man, pretty much, or whatever. And she was like, just thank you for not being messy. And she was like, and, me and his wife have had, words, several times, and I'm just not with him or whatever. So I sent her a message back. I'm like, yeah, he definitely, did lie and manipulate his way through some, and basically just, again, like, I hate that I got myself wrapped up in this, and, it is what it is at this point, whatever. And she sent me another message back, and she was like, well, I'm really curious now, because it sounds like maybe we went through the same situation. She was like, if you're available, if you're up to it, call me. And she sends me her number. And so now I'm curious too, because what you mean, we got a lot of common. But I already knew, you know what I'm saying? Like, when she said, like, I hate that he gets women wrapped up by leading them on, thinking, telling them that he's single at first, and then come to find out you're not, whatever. So I already knew, like, oh, okay, he must have told her a similar situation. So I called her. And when I tell you, first of all, she's the sweetest person. But when I tell you, like, I spent damn near 8 hours on the phone with her, and she spilled all the fucking tea. And when when I say, like, it blew my mind, there were so many jaw-dropping moments on this phone call with her. This man really is really good with his mouth. I will say that. He's very good with his mouth, and he's very good with making someone believe what is coming out of his damn mouth. There were so much that was uncovered about this man that I had no idea. None. It was basically the same thing. He pretty much did the same exact thing to her that he did with me just 2 years prior. And then she got to send in screenshots. And when I tell you verbatim, Everything this man has ever said to me, he said to her. Verbatim. 2022 or whatever year they was messing around to 2024, that man ain't switch up a damn word. And that right there confirmed this didn't mean him, what me and him had going on. This is just what he do. So now my little hurt feelings have turned into anger, has turned into you got me up. Because how dare you? You know what I'm saying? Again, when I've been nothing but genuine and honest to you and open-minded, agreeing that I would never agree to, and you played in my face like this. I said, oh yeah. I said, this motherfucker, he good. I'll give him that. He real fucking good. So yeah, I pretty much like spent the entire night on the phone with this girl, exchanging screenshots, exchanging, stories. And when I tell you there was moments while when we was on the phone when we were literally finishing each other's sentences, because again, he ain't switched shit up. He ain't switch a damn thing up. And that blew out of me. I'm not gonna lie, it made me very mad. Very mad. Because you really sat here and played in my face. And again, I've been nothing but honest and genuine with you. Like, you can't, I really had my feelings wrapped up in you, and you really made me believe that these feelings was genuine for me. Even though, like, I caught you in a few lies here and there, like, you still really, you made that shit sound good as fuck, right? So in the moment of us talking on the phone, it was early into our conversation. It wasn't even a full 7 or 8 hours that we was on the phone yet. Mind you, I had text Marcus earlier or whatever, and I hadn't got a response from him, and it was just basically that text from earlier was, remember, from me telling him like, oh, you hurt me. I just wanted you to be honest, type shit or whatever. And I hadn't heard from him. Well, then he texted me. He texted me again. I don't know what time it was. Maybe like 1 o'clock in the morning. He was like, "La, I'm coming to see you tomorrow. What's your schedule like?" And anytime me and him have ever like gotten into just like a little dispute, or we weren't on the same terms with shit, or we had something that we had to talk about, he never wanted to talk about things over the phone. He wouldn't talk about it if you called him or FaceTimed him, and he wouldn't talk about it via text. He was always like, I gotta see you. We gotta talk about it in person. I gotta be able to, look you in your eyes, and but really, it was because he wanted to be able to look you in your eyes, lie dead in your face, and then afterwards, so you would forget what just happened. So when he texts me like, "La, what's your, I want to come see you tomorrow. What's your schedule like?" I text him back, and I told him, I said, "I don't want to see you." And by now, like, I'm on the phone with Jay, and I'm, like, she's telling me, so I'm irritated, and I don't want to see you, and I promise you, you don't want to see me. So, after that, I text him again. I'm like, what is it that you need to see me for or whatever? And he was like, I really just want to, I really want to talk to you in person about everything. And then, obviously, like, you asked for your key back, so I want to be able to give that back to you or whatever. He was like, yes, I want to be able to, talk for a moment and then give you your key back or whatever. And I told him, I said at this point, like, and then he texted again, and he was like, but if you don't want to talk, like, I completely understand or whatever. So then I texted him again, and I was like, at this point, like, I really just want my key. I really don't feel like there's really much for us to talk about. I said, but I really just want my key. I said, but if you want to meet somewhere out in public, we can meet somewhere, and I'll give you a few moments of my time so that you can say what you need to say or whatever. And he was like, okay, that's fine. And then I told him, I do have my daughter during the day, because she's not in school no more. I'm like, I do have her during the day. I said, but I also have to work tomorrow night. But I had only picked up like a extra little 4-hour shift or whatever. So I was like, I get off. I go in at 7, and then I get off at 11 p.m. or whatever. And he was like, he was like, okay, we'll come up with something. He was like, but in the meantime, La, I really need you to take down those pictures from Austin. And I said, yeah, I'm not taking shit down. And he was like, he just said, okay. And then I texted him again, probably like a few hours later, and I told him my schedule again. And I'm like, like what works for you, as far as when you want to like meet up to give me my key back or whatever. And he was like, well, I don't even know if I'm gonna be back in Grand Rapids by the time you go into work. And I said, okay. I said, well, again, I only work 4 hours that night. I said, so we can meet up when I get off work at 11. And he sent me a message back, and he was like, well, if I'm not back in Grand Rapids by 7, then we're gonna have to figure something else out. And I was like, no, like I need my back tomorrow. I said, so you need to come up with whatever lie that you need to tell your wife so that you're able to get out the house to give me my back or whatever. And he sent another message and was like, no, like if I'm not back before you going to work at 7, we just gonna do it another day, right? And now I'm like, I'm still irritated. So I text him again, and I'm like, I really hate that you really played in my face these last 6 months. And now, mind you, it's late. You know what I'm saying? He don't know that I've talked to Jay. He don't know that I know a lot of shit now. So this is why I'm texting him this, and I'm like, I really hate that you played in my face. I was like, I haven't done shit to you. I'm like, you're not a good person. You're not a good person. So then he sends me a text and he said, Lynette, nobody played in your face. Stop gaslighting yourself into thinking that. Gaslighting myself? Yeah, okay. He was like, if I didn't care, trust me, I wouldn't still be reaching out to you. Blase. Bullshit, pretty much. And I text him again. I'm like, you literally just don't understand that I could have told your wife every thing, and I didn't, because I was giving you the benefit of the doubt, and I wanted you to be honest. And he was like, exactly. Tell her everything for what? Why are we even talking about this right now? I said, tell her everything because she asked. Duh. I said, but you know what? I said, it really don't even matter. I said, because she's not leaving you, number one. And I said, so now it's just going to be the next turn, and this cycle just going to start all over again, just with the next. So he texts me, he like, wow, how soon do the tables turn? I see how you move, la la. Just basically trying to like make me feel some type of way about but you can't, because you did this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't to you. And I told him, I said, you got your nerve. I said, you literally sat here and played face this entire time. And I said, and then on top of that, you downplayed what me and you had to your wife so that you can save that marriage. I said, and it's you can't just go around playing with people's feelings like that. So now, like, I've been home. I went to sleep and shit. Wake up, start the process all over again. I'm back to work that same night or whatever. While I'm at work, he calls me. He like, what's up, Lala? I'm like, what's up, Marcus? He like, how you doing? I said, what's up, Marcus? He like, no, I asked you a question. How you doing? I'm like, I'm fine. What's up? He like, I just wanted to reach out to you and he like, yeah, I just wanted to reach out to you and just verify, or no, what did he say? Oh, he was like, yeah, I just wanted to reach out to you and see what your schedule is. And I was like, well, we've already talked about my schedule. I said, are you back in Grand Rapids? He was like, no. I said, so what are you calling me for then? He was like, well, again, I'm just trying to piece together whatever. And I was like, okay. I said, well, just call me when you get back to Grand Rapids so that we can meet up so I can get this damn key or whatever. And then he had the nerve, I don't even know why you got an attitude. I ain't do shit to you. You ain't do shit to me. The you mean you ain't do shit to me? I said, are you kidding me? And he goes on and on like, just saying how he didn't do shit and how like he just wants us to continue our relationship and all. And then I hit him with I talked to Jay, who is the other baby mama, right? excuse me, TikTok. That man got quiet as a church mouse. You hear me? Ain't hear. You couldn't hear a pin. You could hear a pin drop in that mug. He got so goddamn quiet. Quiet, right? So yeah, he got quiet, like super, super fucking quiet, right? And then he like, oh well, I can't really speak on that Jay situation. He was like, and if y'all over there, comparing, me and her ain't have what me and you have, and I told you what that situation was. We did. He was like, I messed up and did what I did with her, and I don't, and she ended up pregnant, but I don't even know if, for sure if that baby is mine. He was like, but either way, like I didn't love her, and I'm in love with you, and me and you was in a relationship, and like just whatever, right? So I tell him, and then he was like, so yeah, y'all can't sit there and compare. He was like, because honestly, like I don't even know Shorty last name, so I can't even comment on what she talking about. And I just told him, like, like you are just so full of shit. Like you're so fucking full of shit, and I don't believe anything that you're saying right now. And I told him, I'm like, I really just need my key. Like that's all I need. And he was like, well, you said you got your daughter tomorrow. He was like, so what about Tuesday? And I told him, I said, well, I'm not waiting until Tuesday. I'm like, so you need to figure out how to give me my key back tomorrow. I don't need to figure out when they said you got your daughter. I said, you know what? You're right. My bad. You're absolutely right. I said, you know where I live at. Let me know when you're outside. I'll come downstairs and get my key. Well, he was like, well, that's what I've been trying to do. I said, no, you was trying to make your way back over to my house so that you can fuck me and then think that you fuck your way out of this. And I'm not going for that. I said, that's why I wanted to meet out in public. I said, but, and on top of that, you said you wanted to talk. I said, but at this point, we don't have shit else to talk about. Like nothing. I said, so just give me my key and we can go on about our separate ways. And then I hung up. So I get off the phone with him. I call Jay. I'm like, girl, you'll never believe what this man just said. I'm like, he just told me he don't even know your last name, so we can't sit here and compare our relationship to y'all's because he's in love with me and he wasn't in love with you. And she was like, he said, what? Hold on. And when I tell you, she sent me like at least 10 screenshots of this man calling her by her full government name. First, middle, and last. Marcus, you just said you ain't know Shorty last name. You're really a liar. You're really a liar. So I saved one of the screenshots and I texted to him. I'm like, but you ain't know Shorty last name. You're wild. You're really weird as is what I text him. So no response from him, but I'm still on the phone with her. And we just talking, and then she says something that just goes off in my head because it's a familiar thing, right? And I'm like, what'd you just say? I said, say what you just said again. And she says it, and my mouth just drops. And she was like, what? I'm like, he literally says the same time. I said, you got that in a text message? She was like, yeah. I said, screenshot that to me. God damn, I can't talk. So she screenshots it to me. And this is one thing that he would always say. He would always be like, oh, we go together real bad. I'll let you make the choice. I'm gonna keep you around until you 50, and when you turn 50, I'll let you make the choice whether or not you still want to be with me. He was like, but until then, like we go together real bad. And when I tell you verbatim, literally, verbatim, said the same. Didn't even switch his shit up. And that right there was like, this shit don't mean a fucking thing. It don't mean nothing. I mean nothing to you. Literally nothing. So I sent him. At this point, I'm pissed. And my feelings is hurt. Because you really made me believe the shit that you was telling me. But come to find out, none of it is true. And I'm telling Jay this, but I'm also telling her, like, damn, like, I really want to expose this man for who he really is. I was like, but he got my building key or whatever. And she was like, girl, he can't get into your apartment. So I'm like, you know what? You're right. So I text him that screenshot and I say, you literally said the same shit to me verbatim. I say, you are the weirdest person I probably ever met in my entire life. you and that key. And that was it, right? So now, like, I'm pissed. I'm irritated. Like, yeah, I'm finna go there. So, I went ahead and just text his wife because I have her number. I text her. I told her, I said, excuse me. I said, I really hate that you let Marcus lie and manipulate his way out of this situation. I said, because I'm pretty sure he didn't tell you anything. Honestly, I'm pretty sure he downplayed whatever that me and him had going on. I said, regardless of how you feel about me, at the end of the day, like, you are a good woman and you deserve better. Like, you deserve better than than this so-called man, because at the end of the day, he's not a man. And then that's when I sent her 3 separate screenshots of text messages between me and him. One of them was basically like him telling it was the night that she found out that she found my Valentine's Day card to him. And when it hit the fan, and that text message was from him and basically said like, oh, well, so what? Basically, she knows now. You wanted her to know, right? So I sent her that one, and then I also sent her the other one where I was telling him, or that he pretty much said that he was going to lie to her if she gave him an ultimatum to stop me, that he was going to lie to her and tell her that, he would, but he wasn't. And then I also sent her another screenshot of basically like him. The last screenshot that I sent her was the one of me telling him, I'm like, damn, like, I really feel like, because I was talking to him or whatever, and that's when he was like, if y'all remember, he was pretty much saying like he was gonna tell her some shit, but he wasn't gonna tell her everything. Da, da, da. So I had texted, I'm like, damn, I really feel like you're gonna downplay our relationship to her. I really don't feel like you're gonna be 100% honest, like you said that you are. And I really don't see how like honest this conversation is gonna go for you. And then he texted me like, no, you're 100% wrong, and whatever. So I sent her those. Not even an hour later, he blocked me on Facebook. She blocked me on Facebook. And now at this point, like, I've talked to Nay. She's literally exposed everything. Not only do you have more kids than what you told me that you had, because I only knew of 4. And then obviously the possibility of one with Jay, which is not a possibility. That's your damn baby. Let's for real. So that's 5, but you have 2 additional kids out here that I knew nothing about, and you don't take care of none of the kids. And then on top of that, I come to find out, you made it seem to me as if like you're just this outstanding father and like you just have a great relationship with all of your kids. Well, come to find out, the 4 kids that you do claim, 3 of them don't like you. 3 of them don't like you. 2 of them have already outed you on Facebook before and say how much of a deadbeat you are. And then on top of that, you're out here creating other kids and you're not taking care of them. And then the wife, you're okay with being with a man like that? You told this man that if this baby comes back to be his, that if he gets this DNA test and it comes back to be his, you're going to divorce him. So of course he's not going to get DNA. But you're okay with him taking care of your kids. You're okay with him only claiming a few of the kids that he got, because you know about these other kids too, apparently, from what I was been told. I don't like that type. Then come to find out, I'm not the only person that he's done this to. Jay's not the only person that he's done this to. Oh no, this is a pattern for him. He's been doing this for years. You need to be stopped. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody thinks of me. I don't care what comes out of this, but I'm exposing you for who you are. So that is what led to me making the status the next day, surviving Marcus Lancaster. I'm ready to tell my story type shit. And I was just being funny on that, but no, like the next part is when I posted, that whole long ass status, and then I posted several pictures of me and him. I posted several screenshots between me and him, because you can't get away with this type of, cannot continue to do this. And when I tell you, grandpas is messy. Now they love some tea, they love some drama. I've learned that. So I knew that it would get around Grand Rapids. I'm like, okay, cool. But when I tell you that blew up, went viral, I'm like, oh, shit. I wasn't expecting that. But so many women have inboxed me or commented on that status and say how, oh, I see he's up to the same shit, or he did this to me 10 years ago, or he tried to do this to me 8 years ago, or oh, so this is what you do. This is a pattern for you. Then one of the baby mamas that I didn't know about done found me, done found the viral post, and she done commented on there, and yeah, like you're $100,000 behind in child support. You don't claim this kid. Your other kids done found me on Facebook too, and they laughing at the situation. They like, well, he's getting exactly what he deserves because you go around fucking with people's feelings, emotions, lying to them, then coming clean, then telling them, oh wait, but I gotta introduce you as if me and you have never met each other. I gotta introduce you to my fiance at the time, or I gotta introduce you to my wife at the time, as if me and you have never met each other, because this is the only way this is gonna work. Do you know how many people have inboxed me and said that? I just had one lady inbox me and was like, I've known him for at least 10 years, and he tried to do the same shit with me a few years ago. When him and his wife were just engaged or whatever. She was like, me and him had a little something going on, and he proposed like a poly relationship, but told me that he had to introduce me to her as if me and him didn't have going on. And she was like, and I shut down. But I'm like, this is crazy. This is what you do, and it's not okay. It's not okay to anybody involved. It's not okay to us women that are going into this and being manipulated and being lied to. It's really not okay to your wife either, because again, she's going into this. She agreed to, do these little threesomes with you for whatever reason. I don't know why, because you're already out here cheating. So I don't know what the whole purpose of that is. But anyways, but she don't know that. I'm pretty sure half of these women, you done had a threesome with her. You've already been, and she don't know that. None of this is okay, and that's literally all I wanted to bring light to, was the fact that, like, this is what you do, and you've been doing it for years. You've been doing it for years. I don't know how many people have inboxed me and said that you've been doing this for years. Literally, since they've known you. You are about to be 38 years old, and you're out here still doing this shit. And then on top of that, making kids and not claiming them. I'm sorry, you cannot call yourself no man if you're not out here taking care of the seeds that you creating. That makes absolutely no sense to me at all, whatsoever. You can't call yourself a man. You can't call yourself a mentor. None of that. You got kids out here that don't with you. You got kids out here that want with you, but they don't or can't because you're not claiming them. You don't want to have a relationship with them. That ain't no man to me. And you're not the man that you have portrayed yourself to be. Because again, like, going into this, I thought you were a stand-up guy, minus like the little lies that you say here and there. But as far as like a relationship with your kids, as far as like, I thought that part was cool. But come to find out, none of what you ever said to me has been honest and upfront. No. So now I'm going to expose you for the man that you really are. And my whole thing was for exposing him. Yes, my feelings was hurt. Not because of the narrative that everybody else was trying to make it seem, but my feelings was hurt for my reasons, and they are valid. But also, like, I just wanted to bring awareness because he's not going to stop. He's not. Like, he's just going to continue the same cycle. And I just wanted to make sure that the next woman knew what she was getting herself involved to. So now if anybody does involve themselves with him, at least they can't say that they don't know. Because in my situation, I did not know. I did not know this man from a can of paint. Never seen him, never heard of him, nothing. Did not know the shit that he be on. I had to experience that for myself. And again, I'm not taking away from anything that I've done in this situation, anything that I accepted, anything that I put up with, because it was it was a choice that I made, and I take 100% accountability for that. But at the same time, that doesn't take away anything that he did or said. And at the end of the day, like, you just cannot continue to go around people's feelings and emotions and getting them wrapped up in you, and then when the fan, you don't take accountability, you don't own up that you did, you downplay the relationship that you have with the person to your wife so that you can save this marriage, and then still try to sneak around and have that side relationship. And then if they be like, okay, no, you go about your day and then go back home to your wife while we sitting over here heartbroken, or we sitting over here in our feelings. And I get it, it's life. Get their heart broke every goddamn day. Trust me. This ain't my first heartbreak, and I'm damn sure it ain't gonna be the last one. But that's not the point. The point is, you cannot continue this cycle. And if I could do anything to help stop it, why the not? Because I wish it was somebody like me that exposed his ass. I would have walked right past him when I seen him. But at the same time, ever since this shit happened, can't nobody make me feel bad about making the decision to expose him. All the negative, y'all ain't saying nothing. You ain't moving nothing. You ain't stopping nothing. And on top of that, I've had so many women approach me and thank me for exposing him. Thank me for bringing these type of situations to life, because they've been through this. Maybe not with him, but similar situations with their own personal life. Because you men, boys, whatever, y'all can't keep doing this to people and then acting surprised or acting like the victim when they retaliate against your ass. So no, I don't regret. I'm keeping the and it is what it is. I said what I said. I said my piece, and I'm happy about it.
Oh man, that's the end of that video. It's a whole bunch said in this video right here. It was a very, very good story time, something to listen to. But I do want to say that you should make sure that you're being 100 with everybody as much as possible. Don't string people along. Don't lie to them. Don't play with their feelings and nothing like that. You know, try to be honest as possible. It's easier said than done. Yes, I know that, but you know, just try, just work on that, because it really does feel good to tell the truth and be honest as much as possible. You know, like they say, the truth sets you free. Once you start telling the truth, you're gonna feel good about that. All those lies and these demons that you're harnessing by lying and finessing gonna tear your ass up every single day. But hey, that's all I gotta say about the situation. I want to know your thoughts and opinions on this, and I will holler at y'all later on another video. If you made it to the end, I definitely do appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all out there trying to keep it as 100 as you can. But other than that, I'll holler at y'all later. If you made it to the end, I definitely do appreciate y'all, and I will holler at y'all later. All right.